right. Welcome to the deep dive. We love to get in deep with all sorts of language topics, but today we're doing something a little different.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to be taking a look at some real basic English conversation
Uh-huh.
for those of you who are just getting started with your English learning journey.
That's right.
And we've got an expert here to help us break it all down. So I'm Alex.
And I'm Ella. Hi, Alex.
Nice to meet you, Ella.
Nice to meet you too.
So the dialogue that we're going to be looking at today is titled Self-Introduction,
Okay.
and it takes place on the first day of school.
All right.
And we're both students meeting for the first time.
Okay.
So I'll be Alex, and you be Ella.
Sounds good.
Ready to jump in.
Absolutely.
Can I sit here?
Yes, please sit down.
I'm Alex. I'm from Canada.
Nice to meet you, Alex. I like your backpack.
Thank you. Do you like music?
Yes, I love music. I play the piano.
All right. That was our scene. What do you think? Did it sound like a natural conversation?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even though the language was simple, it covered all the basics of, a first encounter, like
Yeah.
asking permission to sit, introducing yourself, giving a compliment, and even finding common ground through a question.
Right, exactly. And I bet that even if you're new to English, you could understand most of what we said.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of learning through dialogues. You get to see how those simple phrases come together in a real life scenario.
Exactly. And now let's rewind and zoom in on some of those key phrases and vocabulary in the dialogue, and we can break down what makes them so useful for beginners.
Sounds good. So let's start with the very first phrase. Can I sit here?
Right.
It's so practical, I think, to know in any social situation.
You're right. Can I sit here?
Yeah.
Is a polite way to ask for permission before joining someone.
Uh-huh.
Whether it's at a crowded table in a cafe or an empty seat on the bus, it's a simple phrase.
Yeah.
But it shows respect and consideration for the other person.
It's a great example of how even a short question can help you start a conversation.
Exactly.
Speaking of starting conversations, let's look at the introductions. I'm Alex. I'm from Canada.
Okay.
And you said, nice to meet you, Alex.
Right. Those are classic phrases that you'll use over and over again.
Right.
I'm your name. I'm from your country. It's a perfect way to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
And nice to meet you is a must-know phrase for acknowledging a new acquaintance.
It's like social glue.
Right.
Connects people. And I noticed you added a compliment, too. I like your backpack. That was a nice touch.
Right. Compliments are a wonderful way to break the ice and make someone feel good.
Yeah.
And they can be about anything, someone's appearance, their personality, or even something they own.
Yeah.
Even a simple, I like your, can go a long way.
So we've covered introductions, compliments, but how do we keep the conversation flowing?
Right.
I use the question, do you like music? That seems like a pretty safe bet.
It is. Questions are essential for getting to know someone and showing that you're interested in what they have to say. Do you like something? Is a simple yet effective way to find common interests and spark a conversation.
And it opens up the opportunity for the other person to share something about themselves.
Exactly.
In this case, you said, yes, I love music. I play the piano.
Exactly. And by sharing a little bit about myself, I'm giving you more to talk about.
Right.
You could then ask me about what kind of music I like, or how long I've been playing the piano, or even if I have a favorite composer.
Uh-huh.
It's like building a bridge of conversation, one phrase at a time.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, I think it's important to highlight a few key vocabulary words from our dialogue.
Okay.
Words like backpack, piano, and of course, please are essential for beginners to know.
Absolutely. Let's have a closer look at these words and how you can use them in your everyday English.
Okay.
First, a backpack. A backpack is a bag with two straps that you wear on your back to carry things. like books, clothes, or anything else you might need.
Right.
It's really useful for school or traveling.
Uh-huh.
You could say something like, I always put my water bottle in my backpack.
That's a great example.
Mm.
Speaking of things that you might put in your backpack, let's talk about piano.
Okay.
It's a musical instrument with black and white keys that you press to make music.
Uh-huh.
My friend is learning to play the piano.
Perfect. And last but not least, we have please. Please is what we call a magic word in English.
Right.
It's used to make requests sound more polite and respectful.
Yeah.
For example, you could say, please, can I have a glass of water? Or, please, can you help me with my homework?
You know, it might seem like a small word, but
Yeah.
using please can really make a big difference in how people perceive you.
Right.
It shows that you're considerate and respectful.
That's so true. These might seem like simple words, but they're the building blocks of communication. And the more you use them in your everyday life, the more confident you'll become in your English speaking abilities.
Before we move on to part 2 of our deep dive, I want to remind you all,
To subscribe to our channel and hit that like button to get more helpful tips and tricks for learning English.
we've got a whole world of language learning to explore together.
I do.
So let's continue unpacking this dialogue.
Okay.
You know, we talked about how important those simple introductions are,
Right.
but is there anything else beginners should keep in mind when introducing themselves?
That's a great question. In our dialogue, Alex kept it very simple and direct with his name and where he's from.
Uh-huh.
It's a good starting point, especially for those early conversations when you might feel a bit nervous.
So short and sweet is the way to go.
Exactly. You don't want to overwhelm someone with too much information right away.
Right.
Just a few key details are enough to break the ice. And if the conversation flows naturally, you can always add more later on.
Yeah. It's like building a connection step by step.
Right. And notice how Ella also added a little something extra about herself
Uh-huh.
by mentioning that she plays the piano.
Yeah.
Sharing a hobby or interest can make your introduction more memorable and spark further conversation.
So finding that balance between being concise but also adding a personal touch is key.
Yeah.
What about keeping the conversation going after those initial introductions?
Right.
Alex's question, do you like music,
Yeah.
seemed to work pretty well.
It did. And it highlights a crucial strategy for beginners.
Okay.
Asking questions.
Uh-huh.
It shows you're engaged and genuinely interested in getting to know the other person.
And do you like something is such an easy formula to remember.
Exactly. And it's versatile, too. You can
Ah.
use it for all sorts of topics.
Yeah.
Music, movies, food, hobbies, you name it.
Uh-huh.
And the other person's response will naturally lead to more things to talk about.
In this case, Ella's response, yes, I love music, I play the piano, gave Alex a chance to ask follow-up questions
Yeah.
about her musical tastes or, experience with the piano.
Precisely, that's how conversations grow organically.
Uh-huh.
And notice how Ella's enthusiasm,
Huh.
yes, I love music, adds a positive energy to the exchange.
It makes her seem more approachable and encourages further interaction.
Exactly.
I'm noticing how even the smallest details in a dialogue
Yeah.
can have a big impact on the overall tone and flow of the conversation.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about the words themselves, but how we use them to create a welcoming and engaging atmosphere.
Now, before we wrap up part 2, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Politeness.
Uh-huh.
Using please and thank you consistently throughout the dialogue really stood out to me.
It's a subtle but important aspect of effective communication,
Yeah.
especially for those new to English.
Right.
It shows respect and consideration for the other person,
Uh-huh.
which helps build a positive rapport.
Even Ella Inviting Alex to sit down with a please,
Right.
sets a friendly and welcoming tone right from the start.
Those little touches of politeness can make a world of difference in how your message is received.
So, in a nutshell, we've seen how even a short and simple dialogue
Mm.
can teach us valuable lessons about introductions, asking questions,
Yeah.
keeping the conversation flowing, and the importance of politeness.
And remember, these strategies aren't just for classroom scenarios.
Right.
You can apply them to all sorts of real life situations,
Yeah.
whether you're meeting new people at a social event or ordering food at a restaurant.
It's all about practicing those essential building blocks of communication.
Exactly.
We've covered a lot of ground in part 2,
We have.
but there's still more to uncover. In part 3 of our deep dive, let's continue our exploration of this seemingly simple dialogue.
Okay.
I'm curious to see what other insights we can uncover.
What's fascinating is that although this conversation takes place on the first day of school,
Yeah.
the strategies that we've discussed
Uh-huh.
apply to countless situations beyond the classroom.
That's so true. You could use these same phrases at a coffee shop, a
Right.
park,
Yeah,
or even when traveling to a new country.
exactly. These are fundamental communication skills that can help you connect with people from all walks of life.
And you know what else is fascinating about this dialogue?
What's that?
It highlights the importance of nonverbal communication.
Right.
Even though we only have the words on paper,
Uh-huh.
imagine how much richer this interaction becomes
Yeah.
when you add in things like facial expressions, tone of voice,
Right.
and body language.
A simple smile or a nod of the head can go a long way
Right.
in conveying friendliness and openness.
Absolutely. And things like making eye contact,
Yeah.
using an appropriate volume,
Right.
can make you appear more confident and engaging.
These nonverbal cues are like the secret ingredients that add flavor and depth to our conversations.
They bring the words to life. And speaking of bringing words to life,
Yes.
let's talk about pronunciation.
Okay.
Even if you understand the phrases and vocabulary,
Right?
clear pronunciation can make a world of difference in how well others understand you.
You're absolutely right. It's like the bridge between knowing the language and actually using it effectively
Yeah.
in our dialogue. Pay attention to the sounds of each word.
Okay.
How do we pronounce Canada?
Huh.
How about backpack? How about piano? Try to mimic the way we say them.
And remember, it's okay to have an accent.
Exactly.
Everyone has one.
Right.
The important thing is to practice speaking clearly and confidently.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to practice out loud, even if it feels a little silly at first.
Yeah?
The more you practice, the more natural your pronunciation will become.
Uh-huh.
And as your pronunciation improves, you'll find that people understand you more easily,
Right.
which in turn boosts your confidence.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
Exact.
Better pronunciation leads to better communication,
Right.
which leads to more confidence, which leads to even better communication.
Precisely. And as you gain confidence, you'll be more likely to put yourself out there,
Yeah.
practice speaking English, and embrace those real life conversations.
Throughout this deep dive, it's become clear that learning a new language is an ongoing journey.
Absolutely.
It's not about reaching perfection,
Right.
but about continuous growth and improvement.
I couldn't agree more. It's about embracing the challenge, having fun with the process,
Yeah.
and celebrating those small victories along the way.
Right.
Every conversation, every new word you learn
Yeah.
is a step forward on your language learning adventure.
And remember, mistakes are part of the process.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to make them.
Yeah.
Learn from them and keep practicing.
That's the important part.
The most important thing is to keep that communication flowing.
Yes.
Keep connecting with others and keep exploring the wonderful world of English.
Well said. We've reached the end of our deep dive into this simple yet insightful dialogue.
Right.
Hopefully, you've gained some valuable takeaways that you can apply to your own English learning journey.
And if you enjoyed this episode and want to explore more language learning tips and tricks,
Yes.
be sure to subscribe to our channel
Right.
and hit that like button.
We've got a whole treasure trove of knowledge waiting for you.
We do.
Until next time, happy learning.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to help you learn English
Yeah.
through easy conversations.
That's right.
And I've got an expert here with me who is amazing at teaching English to beginners.
Hi, everybody.
So imagine you meet someone new
Right.
and you want to talk about your family.
Mm-hmm.
What are some basic English phrases you could use? Well, that's our topic for today.
Yes.
Family introductions.
Such a great way to start practicing your English.
Yeah. Now, to help you visualize this, we're going to act out a short dialogue.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll be Alex.
I'll be Ella.
All right.
Sounds good.
Hi, Ella. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Alex. Nice to meet you, too.
Today's topic is family introductions. We're going to practice talking about our families in English.
Perfect. I'm ready.
Okay, great. Ella, is this your family photo?
Yes. This is my family.
Oh,
This is my father.
okay.
He is a teacher.
Wow, he looks like a very nice man.
He is.
Who is this woman in blue?
She is my mother. She's a nurse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have one sister. Her name is Amy.
Oh, cool. That was great.
Yeah.
See how much you can learn about someone just by asking about their family.
Absolutely. And you used some really important phrases and words there, Alex.
Let's break down this dialogue a little bit and look at some of those key phrases and words. What really stood out to you?
Well, asking, is this your family photo? That's such a natural way to start a conversation about family.
It is, yeah. A
Yeah.
great way to get things going. And then you introduced your father and your mother using simple words like father, mother, teacher, and nurse.
Mm-hmm. Those are really the basic building blocks for talking about family members and their jobs.
Right, yeah. Okay, so let's take a closer look at each of those words and phrases. First up, family photo. What does that mean?
That's easy. A family photo is just a picture of your family together.
Simple as that, yeah.
Exactly.
Now, how about father?
Father means the male parent in a family. It's like saying dad.
And mother.
Mother is the female parent, like mom.
Okay, now for the jobs. Teacher.
A teacher is someone who helps people learn, usually in a school.
Right. And lastly, nurse.
A nurse helps people who are sick or hurt. They work in hospitals or clinics.
So I've got family photo, father, mother, teacher, and nurse. These are great words to know when talking about your family in English.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's practice saying these words out loud. Repeat after me. Family photo.
Family photo.
Father.
Mother.
Mother.
Teacher.
Teacher.
Nurse.
Perfect. You're doing great. Remember, the more you practice saying these words, the easier it will become.
That's right. Don't be afraid to say them out loud, even if you're alone.
Okay, now let's go back to the dialogue for a minute. Ella asked, do you have any brothers or sisters? It's such a common question when you're getting to know somebody.
Yeah, it's a great way to find out more about their family.
Exactly. And then Alex answered, I have one sister. Her name is Amy.
Mm-hmm. He used the phrase one sister to say how many sisters he has, and then he introduced his sister's name.
Yeah. So you ask the question, you give the number, and then you share the name.
Right.
It's a simple formula for talking about siblings. And remember, Brother is for a male sibling, and sister is for a female sibling.
It's all about those building
Yeah,
blocks.
exactly. Now, we've covered some really essential vocabulary and phrases for introducing your family in English, but what if you want to talk about, more than just names and jobs?
Yeah, that's where things can get really interesting. We can add more details and personality to our descriptions.
Okay, so like, what if you want to say what your family members are like? What kind of words could you use?
That's a great question. Let's dive into that next. Well, we can use words like funny, kind,
Right.
smart, or even quiet to describe our family members.
Oh, okay. So instead of just saying, this is my father, he is a teacher,
Mhm.
you could say, this is my father, he's a teacher, and he's really funny. He always tells jokes.
Exactly. Yeah. And it paints a more vivid picture of your father for
Yeah.
the person you're talking to.
Yeah. Okay, so what if you want to talk about, like, what your family likes to do together?
You could say things like, we like to watch movies together, or we love to go hiking on weekends.
Oh, yeah. Or my mom loves to cook, so we have big family dinners every Sunday.
Yeah. Those are great examples. It helps people understand your family's, dynamics and interests.
Right. All right, now let's go back to those key phrases we learned earlier just to make sure everybody remembers them. Can you remind us what they were?
Of course. We talked about family photo, father, mother, brother, sister, teacher, and nurse.
Yeah. Those are super useful words to know when you're talking about your family in English. And remember that sentence we practiced. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah.
That's your go-to question
Yeah.
for finding out about siblings.
It's a simple question, but it can really lead to some pretty interesting conversations.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. All right, I have a fun idea. Why don't we try using some of these words and phrases to describe our own families?
Ooh, okay.
All right, so I'll go first. This is my family. My father is a doctor. He's very kind and patient. My mother is a musician. She's very talented and creative. I have one brother, and he's really funny. We like to play video games together.
That's a great description. I can really picture your family now.
Okay, your turn. Tell me about your family using the words we've learned.
All right, here we go. This is my family. My mother is a writer. She's very smart and imaginative. My father is an engineer. He's very practical and organized. I have two sisters. One is older and one is younger. We all love to read books together.
That's wonderful. See, it's amazing how just a few simple words can tell you so much about someone's family.
It's the power of language.
And remember, even if you make a few mistakes, that's okay.
It really is.
The important thing is to keep practicing and building your confidence.
Everyone starts somewhere. And the more you use English, the better you'll become.
And you know what? If you like what you're hearing today and you want to learn even more, you can subscribe to our channel for
Yes.
more deep dives into practical English.
We've got tons of great tips and tricks to help you improve your English skills.
Plus, don't forget to like this episode if you found it helpful. It really helps us out.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about.
Ooh, I love a good challenge. What is it?
So, how would you describe your family to someone new, using all the English words and phrases we've learned today?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good challenge.
It's a great way to practice. Think about their jobs, think about their personalities, what you enjoy doing together as a family.
Right, yeah. Maybe even try writing a short introduction like we did.
Yes, yes. And, if you're feeling brave, you could practice saying it out loud to a friend,
Yeah.
or even try it out in an online language exchange.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Exactly. Learning English should be fun, so, don't be afraid to experiment and try new things.
Right. Yeah, we're here to help you and support you on your English learning journey every step of the way.
That's right. So keep practicing, keep learning, and keep exploring the world of English.
That's right. And we'll see you on our next deep dive. Happy learning, everyone. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be focusing on learning English, specifically how to make plans with friends using the simplest English possible.
It's pretty amazing what you can do with just a few simple words and phrases, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Today we're going to be listening to a short dialogue between two friends, Alex and Ella.
Okay.
They're going to be making plans for the weekend, and then we'll be breaking down their conversation so you can use the same phrases in your own life.
Sounds great. This is going to be a really fun and useful deep dive for anyone who wants to start speaking English more confidently.
Ready to jump in?
Let's go.
Perfect. Okay, so today's topic is making plans with friends. First, we're going to listen to Alex and Ella act up the dialogue, and then we'll break it down and explain all the key words and phrases. Get ready to learn.
Hi, Ella.
Hi, Alex. This is Ella. Today's topic is making plans. Are you free this weekend?
Yes, I am free on Saturday.
Let's go to the new cafe.
Good idea. What time?
How about 2 o'clock?
Perfect. Where should we meet?
Let's meet at the bus stop.
Okay. See you on Saturday.
See ya.
I really liked how, even with simple words, they were able to make a plan and have a full little conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
What stood out to you in the dialogue?
Well, I think it's interesting how they use the question, are you free this weekend? It's such a polite and natural way to start a conversation about making plans. And I think you'll hear that phrase a lot in English when people are, trying to figure out if they can hang out.
Yeah, that's a really good one to remember. Okay, let's rewind and listen to the chat again, focusing on some key words and phrases this time. So get ready to take notes.
Hi, Ella.
Hi, Alex. This is Ella. Today's topic is making plans. Are you free this weekend?
Yes, I am free on Saturday.
Let's go to the new cafe.
Good idea. What time?
How about 2 o'clock?
Perfect. Where should we meet?
Let's meet at the bus stop.
Okay, see you on Saturday.
See ya.
Okay, so we just heard the dialogue a second time. Now let's break down some of those words and phrases.
Sounds good. So, first we have the word free. It's a really simple word, but it's super important, right? It just means that you have time, you're not busy.
Right. So when Ella asked, are you free this weekend? She was just checking to see if Alex had any time to get together and do something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's always a good idea to be specific about your availability, just like Alex did. He said, yes, I am free on Saturday.
Right. Perfect. Okay, so how about we practice that phrase together? It's a great way to, start making plans with someone. Repeat after me. Are you free this weekend?
Are you free this week?
Perfect. Okay. Now let's talk about that handy word. It's almost like magic because it helps you suggest things to do.
Yeah. And when Ella said, let's go to the new cafe, she was suggesting that activity to Alex. And it sounds really inviting, right? It doesn't sound demanding at all.
Right. Yeah. And it's a great way to get your friend excited about the plan too. Let's go to the new cafe.
It makes you want to go.
It does. Yeah. Let's is such a good word to know. And you're going to hear it a lot in casual conversation.
Okay.
Okay, now let's look at how they decided on the time to meet.
Right. So Ella suggested a specific time by saying, how about 2 o'clock? Again, it's a nice way to suggest something without sounding too pushy.
Right. Yeah, it's very gentle. And then Alex just said, perfect, which showed that he was happy with the suggestion.
And perfect is another one of those words that's super useful. And it shows agreement, but it also kind of shows your enthusiasm at the same time.
Totally. Yeah. And it's a great word for people who are just starting to learn English, I think, because you can use it in so many different situations.
Definitely.
Okay, so what happens next in the dialogue?
Well, they needed to figure out where to meet, right?
Right.
So Alex asked, "Where should we meet?" And then Ella suggested, "Let's meet at the bus stop."
Ah, so they use let's again, but this time it's to decide on a location.
Yeah, exactly. It just shows how versatile that word can be. It can be used for suggesting activities or, places to meet.
I see. Okay, great. So to recap, they used are you free this weekend to check if they were available. Let's to suggest both the activity and the meeting place. And then how about to propose a time? Even with just a few simple words, they made a clear plan.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's just the beginning. There's so much more to learn about making plans in English.
Definitely. And if you like what you're hearing, be sure to like and subscribe because we have a lot more helpful tips and dialogues coming up that are really going to help you speak English with confidence. But first, let's jump into part 2 and dive deeper into this really simple conversation. So we just saw how Alex and Ella made plans to go to a cafe, but what if they wanted to do something else, like go see a movie?
Yeah, that's a great question. How could they adapt that dialogue to see a movie instead?
Well, instead of saying, "Let's go to the new cafe," Ella could just say, "Let's see a movie."
Ah, okay. And then instead of asking, where should we meet? Alex could ask, which movie do you want to see? Or which movie theater should we go to?
Yeah. Exactly. You can kind of think of it like using building blocks. So you can keep the basic structure of the conversation the same, but you just change the words to fit the specific plan that you're making.
I see. Okay. So to recap, if they wanted to see a movie, the conversation could go something like this.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. I'll be Ella and you can be Alex.
Okay, sounds good.
Hi, Alex. Are you free this weekend?
Yes, I am free on Saturday.
Let's see a movie.
Good idea. Which movie do you want to see?
Hmm. How about that new action movie?
Perfect. What time?
How about 7 o'clock?
Okay. Which movie theater should we go to?
Let's go to the one downtown.
Okay, see you on Saturday.
See ya.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy when you break it down like that. You know what I find really helpful for making plans in English is like really understanding the flow of the conversation and like, what comes first, what comes second.
I like that. Yeah, let's unpack that a little bit.
Yeah. So, okay. First we have that all important opening question.
Yeah.
Are you free this weekend? That's just to check if your friend's even available before you start getting into the specifics of the plan.
Yeah, it sets the stage for the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And it shows you're being considerate of their time, which is always a good thing.
Totally. Then comes the fun part, right?
Yeah.
The suggestion. So
Right.
that's where you say something like, let's go to the cafe or let's see a movie, and you're sharing what you have in mind.
And notice how it's phrased as a suggestion, right?
Yeah.
It's not a demand.
Right.
It's let's. So it makes the other person feel like they're part of the decision-making process.
Totally. Yeah. And then, as we saw in the examples, you can use questions like, what time?
Mm-hmm.
Or where should we meet? Or which movie do you want to see? To kind of figure out all the little details and make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah. Those question words are really important, I think. They help you get all the information that you need to, you know, solidify the plan.
Exactly. It's like a little back and forth until you have everything figured out.
I like that, like a little dance. But what I think is really fascinating is how, that same simple structure can be used for so many different situations. It doesn't matter what you're making plans for.
Totally. It's really adaptable. Like if you want to go see a movie, have dinner, go shopping, visit a museum, the basic steps are all the same.
Yeah, it's all about just adapting those words to fit the activity, like we did with the movie example. And the more you practice, the easier it will become.
Speaking of practice, I have a fun idea. Why don't we have our listener practice saying some of these key phrases out loud?
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. That's really the best way to get comfortable with the sounds of English and how to say the words correctly.
Exactly. So, listener out there, are you ready to practice with us? First up, let's try that all-important opening question. Are you free this weekend? Repeat after me.
Are you free this weekend?
Awesome. Now let's practice suggesting an activity. Repeat after me.
Let's go to the new cafe.
Let's go to the new cafe.
Fantastic. Now let's try suggesting a time. Repeat after me.
How about 2 o'clock?
How about 2 o'clock?
You're doing great. Now let's practice suggesting a meeting place. Repeat after me. Let's meet at the bus stop.
Let's meet at the bus stop.
Perfect. And last but not least, let's practice saying goodbye. Repeat after me. See you on Saturday.
See you on Saturday.
Give yourself a round of applause. By practicing these phrases out loud, you're training your mouth and your ears to get used to spoken English.
And don't worry if it feels a little strange at first. I mean, it's always a little awkward when you're trying something new, but the more you practice, the more natural it will become.
Totally. It's like learning a new dance move.
Yeah.
At first, it feels really awkward, but with practice, you become more confident and it just starts to feel like second nature.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, every time you practice, you're taking one step closer to speaking English fluently and confidently.
Well said. Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, let's just quickly go over the main points that we've covered today.
Okay, sounds good. Let's recap those key takeaways.
All right, so we started by listening to a simple conversation between Alex and Ella, who were making plans to go to a cafe. And we broke down the conversation, focusing on essential words and phrases like free, let's, how about, and see ya.
Right. And we talked about how you could change those phrases to make plans for other activities like going to see a movie or having dinner or going shopping, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And we also explored the flow of a typical conversation about making plans, from checking availability to making suggestions, confirming the details, all of that.
Yep. And of course, we can't forget about the importance of practice.
Absolutely.
We encouraged you to repeat those phrases out loud because that's going to help you remember them.
Yes, definitely. So we hope this deep dive is giving you the confidence to start making plans in English. Remember, even simple conversations can make a big difference in your language learning journey.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. We have a ton of new content coming up to help you on your English learning adventure.
Well, that's all for this deep dive, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and happy English learning. Welcome to the deep dive.
Ooh, I like that name.
Today we're diving into something cool.
Okay.
Learning English
Learning English.
to a simple conversation.
Yeah.
Just imagine
Yeah.
picking up new words and phrases
Okay.
just by listening.
Just by listening to a conversation.
Yeah, like eavesdropping
Oh, like eavesdropping. Okay.
on a friendly talk.
Got it. Got it.
That's what we're doing today.
Okay.
Super easy vocabulary
Easy.
and breaking it down step by step
I like that.
so you can easily follow along.
Okay. I'm ready.
To help us out,
Uh-huh.
I'm joined by our language expert,
Hi, everyone. I'm Ella.
and I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
And today we're going to explore a simple dialogue
Simple dialogue.
about learning to code,
To code.
specifically designed
Uh-huh.
for beginners.
Okay, great.
So get ready
Yeah.
to learn some English
Okay.
and maybe even get
Yeah.
inspired to try coding yourself.
Oh, wow.
Ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
All right, Ella, imagine You're just starting to learn English.
Okay.
Let's hear how this conversation might go.
Okay.
I want to learn coding.
That's great. I can help you.
Is coding hard?
No, it's easy if you practice.
What should I learn first?
Python is good for beginners.
Can we start today?
Sure, let's do it now.
So you see,
Yeah.
even a short conversation like that
Yeah.
can help you practice your English.
Oh, that's so cool.
What's fascinating here
What?
is how simple and direct the language is.
Yeah.
You don't need fancy words
Mm-hmm.
to express your thoughts and have a real conversation.
That's right.
Exactly.
Right.
Now let's unpack some key words and phrases
Okay.
from that conversation
Yeah.
so you can really understand them
Uh-huh.
and use them yourself.
Okay. Sounds good. That first word,
Yeah.
coding.
Coding.
It's what this whole conversation is about.
Remember Ella said,
Ah.
I want to learn coding. Well, coding is like
Yeah.
creating a set of instructions
Okay.
for a computer to follow.
Like a recipe.
Oh, yeah.
You have a list of steps.
Huh?
And when the computer follows those steps,
Yeah.
something amazing happens.
Like what?
Like a website is built. A
Wow.
game comes to life.
Cool.
Or a problem is solved.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
And coding
Yeah.
is becoming such an important skill these days.
It really is.
It's used in almost every field.
Yeah, you can imagine.
Exactly.
And the cool thing is,
What?
you don't need to be a math whiz
Right.
to learn how to code.
Oh,
It's more about
yeah.
logical thinking
Yeah.
and problem solving.
Absolutely.
Another important word
Yeah.
from the dialogue
Okay.
is practice.
Practice.
Remember how Alex said,
Yeah.
it's easy if you practice.
Right.
This is key.
Yeah.
Not just for coding,
Mm-hmm.
but for learning anything new.
Like English.
Exactly like English.
I couldn't agree more.
Practice means
Yeah.
doing something
Uh-huh.
over and over again
Yeah.
to get better at it.
So true.
The more you practice your English,
Yeah.
the more fluent you'll become.
It's like learning to play a musical instrument
Okay.
or a new sport.
Yeah.
The more you practice, the
Yeah.
smoother
Yeah.
and more natural it becomes.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Mistakes are actually a great way to learn.
That's so true.
Every time you make a mistake,
Uh-huh.
you're actually learning and improving.
You got it.
And finally,
Okay.
we have the word beginner.
Beginner.
Alex mentioned this
Uh-huh.
when he said Python is good for beginners.
Right.
Now, beginner simply means
Yeah.
someone who is just starting to learn something new.
Okay.
And there are so many resources available,
Yeah.
specifically designed for beginners,
That's great.
making it easier than ever to get started.
Awesome.
Like, remember how Alex suggested Python?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Python is a programming language
Okay.
that's known for being beginner friendly
Beginner friendly?
because it's relatively easy to read and understand.
That makes sense.
And there are tons of online tutorials and courses
Wow.
that can guide you through the basics of Python,
Okay.
even if you have no prior coding experience.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling inspired to give coding a try,
Yeah,
Python is a great place to start.
I agree.
And remember, just like with learning English,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to start small
Uh-huh.
and gradually build your skills.
Good advice.
So we've talked about coding practice and beginner,
Mm-hmm.
all from this short conversation
Yeah.
about learning to code.
Right.
It's amazing how much we can unpack
Yeah.
from just a few lines of dialogue.
I know, right?
And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
what's really exciting is how these simple conversations
Mm-hmm.
can be a gateway
The gateway.
to learning so much more.
Oh, wow.
It sparks curiosity
Yeah.
and opens up
Two possibilities.
to possibilities.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe this conversation will inspire
See,
some of our listeners to give coding a try
that would be awesome.
or explore other new skills.
So many things you could learn.
Absolutely.
And even if you don't become a coder,
Right.
the process of learning itself
Yep.
is incredibly valuable.
I agree.
It teaches you perseverance,
Perseverance.
problem solving,
Yeah.
and how to approach new challenges.
Exactly.
And those skills are transferable
Transferable.
to any field or endeavor you're passionate about.
Speaking of passion,
Okay.
one thing I find fascinating
Yeah.
is how learning English
Mm-hmm.
can actually help you learn other things more easily.
Oh, that's so true.
It's like opening up a whole new world of resources and information.
Exactly.
You could access online courses,
Yeah.
read books and articles,
Right.
and even connect with people from all over the world
I love that.
who share your interests.
That's so cool.
And don't forget, practicing English through conversations,
Right.
like the one we just heard,
Yeah.
is a fantastic way
Mhm.
to improve your fluency and confidence.
Absolutely.
Every conversation you have,
Yes.
every new word you learn,
Yeah.
brings you closer to mastering the language.
I like that.
And if you're enjoying these deep dives
Mm-hmm.
and finding them helpful for learning English,
Yeah.
be sure to subscribe and give us a like.
Yes, please do that.
We've got tons more content coming your way
We do.
to help you on your language learning journey.
Absolutely.
We're here to support you every step of the way.
We are.
Now, before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want to leave you with something to ponder.
Okay, let's ponder.
We saw how a simple conversation about coding
Mm-hmm.
can spark the desire to learn something new.
It really can.
But what other skills besides coding could you pick up
Mm.
just by listening to everyday English conversations?
That's a great question.
Maybe you could learn about cooking,
Oh, yeah.
music history,
Uh-huh.
or even how to fix a leaky faucet.
That's a good one.
The possibilities are truly endless.
They are endless.
So keep those ears open
Keep listening, everybody.
and those minds curious.
Yes.
Because you never know
Uh-huh.
what valuable knowledge you might pick up
Right.
just by listening to the world around you.
Well said.
Remember, every step you take
Yeah.
in your English learning journey
Uh-huh.
is a step towards connecting with new people,
New people.
exploring new ideas,
Ideas.
and expanding your horizons.
Your horizons.
That's a perfect note to end on.
Perfect.
Thanks for joining us
Yes. Thank you.
on this deep dive
Deep dive.
into the world of language and learning.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep practicing,
Keep practicing.
stay curious,
Stay curious.
and keep exploring.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Welcome to another deep dive, you guys. This time we're diving into learning English through situational dialogues.
Yeah.
And this one is going to be great for absolute beginners.
Oh, cool.
We're going to be looking at a simple conversation you might have at the library.
At the library.
Yeah, you know that place with all the books?
Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine yourself confidently asking for a book or like figuring out how to get a library card
No.
in English.
Yeah. That's what we're going to do today.
And to guide us through all this, we have our expert who, as always, is amazing at breaking things down.
I try my best.
So are you ready to dive into this library conversation?
Oh, I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay. So our dialogue today is called At the Library.
At the library.
And I'm Ella.
I'm Alex.
And let's imagine we're both at the library and I need to find the science books.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so, excuse me, where are the science books?
They are on the second floor.
Thank you. Can I borrow 3 books?
Yes. Do you have a library card?
No, I don't. How can I get one?
You need your ID card and phone number.
I have them here. Please make me a card.
Your card is ready. The books are due in 2 weeks.
All right, so we just heard a simple conversation about getting a library card and borrowing some books.
Uh-huh.
But before we get into like all the nitty-gritty details,
All right.
let's take a look at some of the key words and phrases
Yes.
that came up.
A vocabulary.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the first words we heard was borrow.
Okay.
You probably already have an idea of what borrow means, but
Yeah.
can you remind us?
Yeah, borrow means to take something for a little while with the promise to give it back later.
Exactly like in our dialogue.
Yeah.
Can I borrow 3 books?
Yes, you are asking permission to take those books and promising to return them.
Perfect. And speaking of returning,
Yes.
another important word was due.
I do.
What does it mean when we say the books are due?
Due means when something needs to be returned, like a deadline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the books are due in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Means Ella needs to bring the books back to the library.
Yes.
By that time, it's important to remember due dates
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have to pay any late fees.
Yeah, that's right.
And you'll hear this word due used in lots of different situations, not just at the library.
That's true.
Okay, now let's talk about card.
Okay.
We heard Alex ask, do you have a library card?
Yes.
What did he mean by card here?
In this case, card refers to a library card. It's like a special pass that lets you borrow books.
Right, think of it as your ticket to borrowing all those wonderful books.
Exactly. Without a library card, you usually can't take books home with you.
So these are just a few of the key words that we're going to be focusing on today.
Yeah.
As we go through the dialogue, we'll point out more essential words and phrases
Yeah.
that you can start using right away.
Yes.
And remember, even though these words seem simple,
Uh-huh.
they're like the building blocks of everyday conversations.
Absolutely.
Right.
Mastering these simple words and phrases is a huge step in your English learning journey.
Okay, so are you ready to dive deeper into this conversation?
I think our listener will be surprised how much they can learn from this simple exchange.
Me too. Let's go.
Okay, so let's rewind back to the beginning of the dialogue at the library.
Okay, so it all started with me, Ella, needing some help.
Yeah.
I said, excuse me, where are the science books?
Right.
Notice how I started with excuse me.
Yes. Excuse me.
It's important.
It's a polite way to get someone's attention before you ask them a question. It's like saying, hello, I need your help. It shows good manners.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a little signal that says, I don't want to interrupt, but I have a question.
Exactly. And then you ask, where are the science books? That's a simple and direct way to ask for directions.
Right. And Alex responded with, they're on the 2nd floor.
Straightforward answer.
Yeah.
Notice he used they to refer to the science books.
Right. We use they when we're talking about more than one thing.
Yeah,
In this case, it's more than one book, so it's they are.
exactly. It's a small word, but it makes a big difference in grammar.
Right.
Now, after getting the directions, Ella said, thank you.
Always be polite.
Yeah,
Even if it's a simple answer, it's always good to say thank you
right.
to show your appreciation.
Yeah, good manners are important in any language.
So Ella found the science books,
Mm.
and then she said, can I borrow 3 books?
Okay.
This is where we see that question form we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
It's a very useful way to ask for permission.
It's like saying, is it okay if I...
Right. And it works in all sorts of situations. Can I use your phone? Can I have a glass of water? Can I sit here?
Yeah.
It's a phrase you'll use all the time.
Absolutely. Remember those 3 words. Can I? You can use them to ask permission to do almost anything.
Okay, what happened next?
Alex responded, yes. Do you have a library card?
Okay.
He's confirming whether Ella meets the requirement for borrowing books.
Ah, so here's that do you have question.
Right.
That's another question type we hear all the time.
Exactly. You can use it to ask if someone has something specific, like a key, a book, a phone, anything.
And remember, it's a yes-no question.
Right.
So the answer is usually either yes or no.
Exactly.
In our dialogue, Ella answered, no, I don't. How can I get one?
Perfect.
So first she answers the question, no, I don't.
Uh-huh.
And then she uses another very helpful question, how can I?
Right.
This one is your go-to phrase when you need instructions.
Exactly.
It's like saying, tell me the steps, or what do I need to do?
Yeah, it's so versatile. How can I make a cake? How can I get to the train station? It's a phrase that will come in handy in so many situations.
I love how these simple phrases can unlock so many conversations.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much you can express with just a few words.
Yeah.
Now, what did Alex say in response to Ella's question?
He gave her the instructions. You need your ID card and phone number.
Simple and clear.
Yeah.
He told her exactly what she needed to get a library card.
Right. And then Ella confirmed, I have them here. Please make me a card. Notice how she used please,
Yeah.
just like, excuse me, that we talked about earlier. It's another key word for being polite.
Yes, adding please to your request makes you sound more respectful and considerate.
It's like adding a little bit of kindness to your words.
Exactly. It can make a big difference in how people perceive you.
So Ella provided the necessary information and politely asked for a card. What happened next?
Alex told her, your card is ready. The books are due in 2 weeks. He was letting her know that her library card was ready to use, and he reminded her about the deadline for returning the books.
That due word again.
Yeah.
It's so important to pay attention to due dates so you don't have to pay late fees.
Right. Libraries want their books back so that other people can enjoy them too.
Exactly. That's a great point. And with that, our library conversation came to a close.
It was a short and simple conversation, but it was packed with essential vocabulary and grammar.
Absolutely. And remember, this is just one example of a conversation you might have at a library.
There are so many other situations you could encounter, but the key is to start with the basics and build from there.
Exactly. And as you learn more words and phrases, you'll be able to handle more complex conversations with confidence.
And remember, even native English speakers started with simple words and phrases like these, so don't be afraid to practice.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to our final thoughts, if you're finding these deep dives into English helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps us out and lets us know you're enjoying the content.
We love seeing your support and knowing that we're helping you on your language learning journey.
Okay, now let's wrap things up with some key takeaways from this library dialogue. Okay, so let's do like a quick review of those important words
Yes.
we came across in the library dialogue.
Yeah, repetition is key when you're learning a new language.
Exactly.
So let's revisit borrow.
Okay, borrow.
Remember, borrow means to take something for a short time with the promise of returning it.
Right, like, can I borrow 3 books?
Exactly.
Easy peasy.
Now, how about due? It's all about deadlines.
Right. Due tells us when we need to return the things we borrowed.
Yes, like when Alex said, the books are due in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yes, it lets you know the deadline for returning those borrowed books. Don't forget to check the due date so you can return them on time.
Absolutely.
And finally, let's remember that card doesn't just mean any card. In our library situation, it has a specific meaning.
Right.
Exactly. In this dialogue, card refers to a library card. It's like your membership to the library.
Your ticket to a world of books.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how much you can do with just a little card.
It opens up a world of knowledge and stories. Now let's go beyond individual words and look at some of those key phrases that make up a real conversation.
Right. Phrases are like building blocks.
Yes.
They help us string words together and express ourselves more clearly.
Let's start with a simple but important one. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Remember, we use excuse me at the beginning of a conversation, especially when we want to ask someone for something. It's a polite way to get their attention.
Right. It shows respect for the other person,
Exactly.
their time and space.
And then we can follow, excuse me, with our question.
Okay.
Where are
Right.
the...
Where are the science books?
Yes, you can use this phrase to ask for the location of anything.
Right.
Just replace science books with whatever you're looking for.
It's very versatile.
It is very versatile.
Yeah.
Where are the restrooms? Where are the cookbooks? The possibilities are endless.
Now, another essential phrase we saw was, can I borrow?
Yes.
This is how we ask for permission to borrow something.
It's polite and direct. Can I borrow a pen? Can I borrow your phone charger? It's a phrase you'll be using a lot.
And lastly, let's not forget that super helpful question, how can I?
Yes, that's our go-to phrase for getting instructions.
Yeah.
How can I get a library card? How can I renew my books? It's a great way to learn how to do something new.
And the best part is you can use this phrase in so many different situations. How can I get to the train station? How can I order a pizza? It's a real conversational lifesaver.
Absolutely. By using these phrases, you're not just learning words, you're learning how to have real conversations in English.
Exactly. It's not just about grammar rules and vocabulary lists. It's about connecting with people
Yeah.
and sharing ideas.
It's about opening up a whole new world of communication.
So remember, everybody keep practicing these phrases. Use them in your daily life, even if it feels a little awkward at first. The more you use them, the more natural they will become, and before you know it, you'll be having confident, flowing conversations in English.
And remember, the library is a fantastic place to practice your English. It's quiet, it's filled with interesting things to talk about, and you might even make some new friends.
That's a great point. And that brings us to the end of another deep dive into English. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive into learning English.
That's right.
Today we're going to be focusing on simple conversations.
Yeah,
Perfect for those just starting their English journey.
for sure.
We're going to make it fun and easy.
Absolutely.
Think of it as a shortcut to speaking English with confidence. And I am really excited about our topic today, which is all about pets.
Pets are the best.
So imagine you've just gotten a new pet.
Okay.
How would you tell a friend about it in English?
Ooh, good question.
So before we jump into all that,
Okay.
let me introduce our expert guide for this deep dive.
Thank you.
Expert speaker.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
All right, so expert speaker, let's dive right into our dialogue for today.
Okay.
It's called My New Pet.
Cute.
And to bring it to life, I'll be playing the role of Alex.
Okay.
And you'll be Ella.
Sounds fun. Okay. Let's do it.
Here we go.
Look at my new cat.
Wow, it's so cute.
Thanks. What's name?
Her name is Luna.
Luna.
Yeah.
How old is Luna? She is 6 months old.
This month's old.
Mm-hmm.
Does she like to play?
Yes, she loves her toy mouse.
Oh, Can I pet her?
Of course, she's very friendly.
Okay, that was great.
Thanks.
Even though the dialogue is short and sweet,
Yeah,
it's packed with useful phrases for talking about your pet.
absolutely.
It covers the basics like name, age, and even personality.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we unpack the whole thing,
Okay.
let's focus on some key phrases that jumped out at me.
Okay.
That opening line,
All right.
look at my new cat.
Mm-hmm.
is such a simple and effective way to introduce your pet.
Right to the point.
Yeah, it's direct and it gets right to the point,
Yeah.
generating excitement and interest from the listener.
Exactly.
And then the natural follow-up question,
Yeah.
what's his name?
Yeah.
It shows you're engaged
Yeah.
and want to learn more about the pet.
Exactly. It's showing you're interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And asking about the pet's age
Okay.
with how old is Luna helps us understand where they are in their life stage.
Right.
Are they a playful kitten,
Yeah.
a mature cat, or somewhere in between?
Right. Like, how much energy do they have?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to get a glimpse of Luna's personality,
Okay.
we have the question, does she like to play?
Uh-huh.
It tells us whether she's energetic and playful
Yeah.
or perhaps a bit more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
It's important.
And of course, before you even think about petting someone's pet,
Yes.
it's crucial to ask for permission.
Yeah.
Can I pet her?
Uh-huh.
Shows respect for both the pet and the owner.
Exactly.
And in the dialogue,
Yeah.
Ella's response.
Okay.
Of course, she's very friendly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gives Alex the go-ahead and adds another detail about Luna's personality.
Exactly.
Yes.
It does.
That single word, friendly, speaks volumes.
Yeah.
It tells us Luna is approachable,
Mm.
enjoys human interaction,
Yeah.
and isn't likely to scratch or bite.
Right. She's safe.
Speaking
Mm-hmm.
of friendly, what exactly does that mean when we talk about pets?
So, friendly in the context of pets means they are kind and enjoy being around people. They are not aggressive or scared of humans.
Right.
You might see them wagging their tail, purring, or even approaching you for attention.
So a friendly pet is basically the social butterfly of the animal kingdom.
Huh. That's a great way to put it.
They love making new friends.
Yeah.
Just like Luna.
Just like Luna.
It's amazing how much information
Right.
is packed into this short dialogue.
It is.
We've learned how to introduce your pet,
Uh-huh.
ask about their basic information,
Yeah.
and even inquire about their personality.
Their personality.
And we've even touched upon the importance of being respectful
Yeah.
and asking permission before petting someone's furry friend.
Super important.
It's like a mini guide to having basic conversations about pets in English.
It is a mini guide.
You got it.
Yeah.
And don't forget,
Okay.
repetition is key to language learning. The more you practice these phrases out loud, the more natural and confident you'll become when speaking English.
It's true. So true.
Practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of practice, did you notice how the word pet was used in two different ways in the dialogue?
Now that you mention it, I did.
Yeah.
In one instance, it referred to the animal itself, and in the other, it was an action.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Exactly. Pet is a versatile word that can be both a noun and a verb.
Wow.
This is something you'll encounter often in English, so it's great to start recognizing these nuances early on.
Okay, let's break this down.
Right.
First, we have pet as a noun.
Right. Like in the first line of the dialogue,
Okay.
look at my new pet.
Mm-hmm.
Here, pet refers to the animal itself,
Right.
the cat in this case.
So as a noun, pet means an animal that someone keeps at home for companionship.
Exactly. It could be a cat, a dog, a bird, a fish, a rabbit.
Wow.
Basically any animal that lives with you and is part of your family, like Luna the adorable cat from our dialogue.
Precisely. Now, how about we try using pet as a noun in a sentence?
Okay, let's see. My pet is a very playful hamster.
Excellent. That's a perfect example.
Okay.
Okay, now let's look at pet as a verb.
So later in the dialogue, Alex asks, can I pet her? Here, pet is an action.
Exactly. In this case, pet means to gently stroke or touch the animal.
So it's like giving your furry friend some love and attention with your hand.
That's a great way to describe it.
Ah.
It's all about showing affection to your pet.
Let's try using pet as a verb in a sentence.
Okay.
How about, I like to pet my dog while watching TV?
Perfect. That sentence clearly shows the action of petting.
Cool.
Now you can impress your friends by using pet in both ways.
I'm already feeling more confident about talking about pets in English.
That's fantastic. And remember, the more you practice, the easier it will become.
Speaking of practice, I think it's time for a quick vocabulary review.
Okay.
It's always helpful to go over the key words to make
Yeah.
sure they stick.
Absolutely.
Let's revisit some of the important words from our My New Pet dialogue, starting with friendly,
Okay.
which we've already touched upon.
Yes. Friendly is a great word to describe a pet that is easy to get along with and enjoys being around people.
Right. A friendly pet is approachable, kind,
Yeah.
and doesn't show aggression.
Uh-huh.
They're the kind of pets that make you feel happy and loved just by being around them.
Exactly. Now, can you give me an example sentence using friendly?
Sure. The friendly dog wagged its tail and licked my hand.
Perfect sentence. That sentence paints a clear picture of a friendly and welcoming dog.
Ah.
And just like that, you've added another word to your English vocabulary.
This is great. We've covered so much ground already.
I know, right?
We've learned key phrases for talking about pets, explored the different meanings of the word pet,
Yeah.
and even reviewed the word friendly.
Yes.
It's amazing how much we can learn from such a short and simple dialogue.
It is. And guess what? There's one more important word from the dialogue that we haven't reviewed yet.
Oh, you're right. The word mouse.
Yes.
Now, mouse can refer to a real mouse,
Uh-huh.
or in Luna's case, a toy mouse.
Yeah.
But for our vocabulary review, let's focus on the real animal.
Okay, sounds good.
So a mouse is a small rodent
Okay.
with a long tail, small ears, and tiny little paws.
So cute.
They're often found scurrying around in houses or fields looking for food.
Yeah, they are.
And they're also a popular snack for some cats, like Luna.
Haha, that's... Right now, how about we try using mouse in a sentence?
How about this? The cat patiently watched the mouse scurry across the floor.
Fantastic. That sentence perfectly captures a classic cat and mouse interaction.
Yeah.
And with that, you've mastered another word.
I'm really starting to feel like I can talk about pets in English now.
Awesome.
I've learned so many useful phrases and words.
That's wonderful to hear. Remember, the more you immerse yourself in the language, the more natural it will become.
I'm definitely feeling more confident and ready to practice what I've learned. And I have to say, this deep dive has been a lot of fun.
It has. Hasn't it? Learning a new language should be enjoyable.
It really has been fun. We've gone through a simple dialogue about pets, highlighted key phrases, and even reviewed some important vocabulary.
I feel like I've leveled up my English skills today.
That's fantastic to hear. It's amazing how much you can learn from just a few lines of conversation. And remember, the more you listen to and practice these conversations, the easier it will become to speak English confidently.
It's like putting together a puzzle. At first, the pieces seem random, but as you start connecting them, a clear picture emerges.
That's a great analogy. And just like with the puzzle, the more you practice, the faster and more efficiently you'll be able to put those pieces together.
So keep practicing, keep listening, and most importantly, have fun with it. If you enjoyed this deep dive and found it helpful, there's something you can do to help us out.
That's right. Subscribing to our channel and giving this episode a thumbs up helps other English learners like you find this valuable content. Sharing is caring, after all.
Absolutely. The more we share knowledge, the more we all learn and grow. Speaking of learning and growing, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question to ponder. If you could have any pet in the world, What would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a great one. I think I'd choose a talking parrot. Imagine all the conversations we could have. But seriously, it really makes you think about what kind of animal companion would best suit your personality and lifestyle.
Exactly. So take some time to think about it, maybe even jot down your thoughts in English. And who knows, maybe this will inspire you to learn even more English words to describe your dream pet. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of simple English conversations. Keep practicing, keep learning, and we'll see you in our next deep dive.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to keep things nice and simple for all of you out there learning English. We're going to be focusing on like everyday dialogue, just the kind of stuff you'd use with a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've got a great example for you today. A conversation between two friends, Alex and Ella, about expressing thanks.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our focus for today's deep dive. How to say thank you.
Exactly. And you'll be surprised at how easy it can be.
Yeah, for sure. So, ready to dive in?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's start by listening to Alex and Ella's chat. This is our source material for today. Okay, I'll be Ella.
I'll be Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hey, Ella. So, how was your move?
It went well, thanks.
Good to hear. Anything I can help with?
Alex, you helped me so much today.
It was nothing. I'm happy to help.
The boxes were so heavy.
Don't worry about it. That's what friends are for.
Can I buy you dinner as thanks?
Sure. I like that idea.
Let's go to the pizza place nearby.
Perfect. I love pizza.
Okay, so that was our dialogue. What jumped out at you? It's amazing how much they conveyed with such simple vocabulary. You really don't need to use complex grammar to express yourself clearly in English.
I know, right? It felt so natural, and it was packed with useful phrases, especially for thanking someone. Let's break down some of those key expressions.
Great idea. Let's start with that heartfelt. You helped me so much. Such a straightforward way to express sincere gratitude.
And it works in so many situations. You can use it for big favors, like helping with a move, or smaller things like explaining a concept.
Exactly. It's like a magic phrase that instantly shows your appreciation.
Now, how about Alex's response? It was nothing. It seems so casual.
It is. In English, it's common to kind of downplay your efforts when someone thanks you. It's a way of being humble and saying, no big deal, I was happy to help.
So it's like saying you're welcome, but in a more casual way.
Exactly. And it shows that you weren't expecting anything in return. You were just being a good friend.
I love that. That we have that classic line, that's what friends are for.
Ah, yes. This phrase highlights the bond of friendship and the idea of mutual support. It's like saying, we're in this together, and I'm always here for you.
It really emphasizes that sense of camaraderie. Then Ella takes it a step further and offers to buy Alex dinner.
Yeah, that's a common way to show thanks, especially in Western cultures. Sharing a meal is a gesture of appreciation that goes beyond words.
It's like saying, I value your help so much that I want to treat you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into some of those key vocabulary words that make these phrases so powerful.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Let's start with the word heavy. Ella mentioned that the boxes were heavy. This means that the boxes weighed a lot and were difficult to lift.
Right. You could also say, this bag is heavy, or that rock is heavy.
Exactly. Heavy is a word you'll use all the time. Now, how about thanks? That's such a simple but important word.
It is. It's a shorter, more informal way of saying thank you. You can use it on its own, or add phrases like, thanks for your help, or thanks for the gift.
It's amazing how such a small word can express so much gratitude.
It really is. Now, remember that phrase Ella used to thank Alex? You helped me so much. Let's repeat that a few times together so you can really internalize it.
Great idea. Ready? You helped me so much.
You helped me so much. Good.
Say it again.
You helped me so much.
Excellent. Now imagine you're thanking a friend for helping you with your homework. You could say, "You helped me so much with my homework." Let's try it together. You helped me so much with my homework.
You helped me so much with my homework.
Perfect. You're doing great. Now let's practice Alex's casual response. It was nothing. Repeat after me. It was nothing.
It was nothing.
Great. Now let's add a little more. It was nothing.
I'm happy to help. Say that with me.
It was nothing. I'm happy to help.
Perfect. You're getting the hang of it.
This is fun. Now let's try that warm and fuzzy phrase. That's what friends are for.
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 Excellent. You're a natural.
I'm starting to feel more confident already. That's what we like to hear. And if you're enjoying this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe and like. We've got tons more tips and tricks to help you master everyday English.
Welcome back. We're diving even deeper into those simple but powerful phrases you can use to express thanks in English.
Yeah, we're picking up right where we left off, with Ella offering to buy Alex dinner.
Exactly. But how should you respond when someone offers to treat you? Let's listen to that part of the dialogue again and see how Alex handles it.
Good idea. Let's refresh our memories.
Okay, I'll be Ella again.
And I'm Alex.
Can I buy you dinner as thanks?
Sure, I like that idea.
So Alex accepts the offer with a simple and positive response. But are there other ways he could have replied?
Absolutely. If you're happy to accept the offer, you could say things like, "That sounds great," or "I'd love that." You could also say, "Sure, I'm in," or "Thanks, that's really nice of you."
Those all sound very enthusiastic and appreciative. Especially like, "That's really nice of you." It adds a touch of extra gratitude.
Exactly. It shows you appreciate their thoughtfulness.
Now, what if you're not so keen on dinner? Maybe you're not hungry or have other plans. How do you politely decline without hurting their feelings?
That's a good point. Honesty is important, but so is politeness. You could try saying, "Thanks for the offer, but I'm not really hungry right now." Or, "That's very kind of you, but I already have plans for dinner." You could also explain that you're trying to eat healthy. For example, "I appreciate the thought, but I'm trying to eat healthy at the moment."
Those are all great ways to decline without being awkward. You've given a reason, so it makes sense.
Right. A little explanation goes a long way. But what if you like the idea but want to suggest something else? Maybe you'd prefer to grab a coffee instead, or split the bill.
That's a great point. How would you suggest handling that?
You could say something like, "Thanks, but how about we just grab a coffee instead?" Or, "But that's so kind, but maybe we could split the bill." You could even offer to bring dessert. "I'd love to, but can I at least bring dessert?"
I love how those suggestions show your appreciation while also being honest about your preferences. It's all about finding a comfortable balance.
Exactly. Good communication is about being clear and respectful.
So whether you're accepting declining or suggesting an alternative, the key is to be polite, clear, and honest in your response.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now let's revisit some key vocabulary words we've encountered so far. These are words we'll use all the time in English, so it's worth spending a little extra time on them.
I agree. Let's start with nearby. Ella suggested going to the pizza place nearby. This word is super helpful when you're talking about locations.
Right. Nearby means close to where you are or within a short distance. You could ask, "Is there a supermarket nearby?" Or you could say, "My office is located nearby."
It's a word you'll use all the time, especially when you're exploring a new city. Now, how about thanks again? It's such a simple but essential word for expressing gratitude. We can't emphasize this one enough.
Absolutely. Thanks is a short and informal way of saying thank you. Remember, you can use it on its own or add phrases to be more specific, like "Thanks for your help" or "Thanks for the gift."
It's amazing how much we can convey with just one little word. Now let's go back to that powerful phrase, "You help me so much." Let's practice it a few more times together. Ready?
I'm ready.
You help me so much.
You help me so much.
You help me so much.
Excellent. Now imagine you're thanking someone for giving you directions. You could say, "You helped me so much, I would have been lost without you."
Or if someone helped you with a difficult task, you could say, "You helped me so much with that project. I couldn't have done it without you."
Great examples. It really is a versatile phrase. And remember, the more you practice, the more natural it will become.
That's right. Repetition is key when you're learning a new language. And speaking of practice, are you ready for a little challenge?
Bring it on. I love a good challenge.
Okay, imagine you're at a coffee shop and the person behind you accidentally spills their drink on you. What would you say?
That's a tricky situation. I think it depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm okay, I might say something like, "It's all right, accidents happen." But if I'm a bit annoyed, I might just say thanks sarcastically.
That's a good point. Tone of voice can really change the meaning of a phrase. It's all about context.
Exactly. And that's what makes language so fascinating. There are so many subtle nuances to explore.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into expressing thanks in English.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how much we can learn from just a simple conversation, between friends.
I know, right?
Right?
We've already learned some great phrases and vocabulary, but now it's time to kind of look at the cultural side of things.
Absolutely. Language isn't just about words and grammar, it's a window into a culture's values and customs.
Yeah, I love that. So what kind of cultural insights can we get from, Alex and Ella's conversation?
Well, let's look at how Alex responds to Ella's thanks. Remember, he says it was nothing and that's what friends are for?
Right. It seemed very casual and modest.
Exactly. In many English-speaking cultures, it's considered polite to kind of downplay your efforts when someone thanks you. It's a way of being humble and, not bragging.
That makes sense. It's like saying, "No big deal, happy to help," without making a fuss.
Precisely. It's about the act of kindness itself, not seeking, recognition or praise.
Interesting. So it's not just about the words, but also the attitude behind them.
Absolutely. Now, what about Ella's offer to buy Alex dinner? What does that tell us about cultural norms?
Well, it seems like a pretty common way to show appreciation, especially in Western cultures.
You're right. Sharing a meal is a way to connect and build relationships. It goes beyond just saying thank you.
Yeah, it's like saying, "I value your time and effort, and I want to spend time with you."
Exactly. And the choice of food can be significant too. In this case, they chose pizza, which is often associated with casual gatherings and fun.
It's a food that brings people together.
Precisely. So even this simple conversation reveals a lot about cultural values, social etiquette, and the importance of shared experiences.
This has been such a great deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much more than just how to say thank you in English.
That's the beauty of language learning. It's a journey of discovery, and there's always something new to learn.
And the more you learn, the more confident you become.
Absolutely. So keep practicing, keep exploring, and never be afraid to make mistakes.
Great advice. And to all our amazing listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into thanking someone in English. We hope you found it helpful and insightful.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the fascinating world of language and culture.
And don't forget to like and share this episode with your friends.
We love helping you on your English learning journey. Until next time, happy learning.
Thanks for joining the conversation here at Kaz English. We hope you found it fun and informative. Don't forget to check out kazapp.uk. That's kazapp.uk for more tips, resources, and interactive practice. Keep exploring, keep chatting, and we'll catch up with you again soon.